Well, welcome in everyone to EKU football's Week 13 press conference as the Colonels are coming off of a 30-27 win over Austin Peay and now prepare for Senior Day against North Alabama. We're joined as always by head football coach Walt Wells, and we are also joined today on the call by two student athletes, Marvion Field of the defensive line and running back Joshua Carter. As always, we'll start with Coach's opening statement, and then we'll open up the floor to questions from the media. So, Coach, with that, take it away.
Well, appreciate everybody being here, and as always, it's great to get a win, and especially on the road against a really good Austin Peay football team, who I think was really improving throughout the end of the season there. And I thought, obviously it was a game of wills, and so I appreciate the efforts of our players and our coaches and staying strong throughout that whole game, and then obviously into overtime, so we could get the victory. It's fun to get a win like that. We like to make them a little easier, but we'll take them as we can get them, especially in November. So that part of it was great. Moving into this week against North Alabama, looking forward to bringing them in. They had a week off, so I know they'll be well prepared and ready to go, and they're a better team than what their record indicates. And with a big win over Abilene Christian, the only loss Abilene had, and Abilene's our conference champion. So congratulations to Abilene. But, we've got a tall task coming into Roy Kidd Stadium. We want to finish that off the right way for our 21 seniors that will be leaving us and graduating. A lot of games, a conference championship and a playoff game involved in those guys. And we've got 14 of them are in graduate studies and have already got their degrees. So very proud of that group. A lot of them were the first class that we brought in here. So a lot of memories of recruiting them and then going right into COVID, which was really fun, and dealing with that. And so these young men have been through a lot, but they've stuck with the Colonels, and a lot of them, especially the ones in that first class. So really proud of them and looking forward to honoring them the right way and hopefully having another great crowd here at Roy Kidd Stadium. So with all that, I'll open it up for questionings. And again, thanks for being here.
All right, Brian.
Where does this one rank in terms of, oh my gosh, look what we just did?
Well, we've had a couple of them like that throughout the years, but that was probably, ranked up right up there really high because, it's, last year we were in overtime, or we went to overtime here at Roy Kidd Stadium. We had to score with, I want to say, 20 or 30 seconds left, and we scored. Jalen Burgess caught a pass with 2 seconds to go to tie it up and to put it in overtime, and then we lost in overtime. So to go down to their place and kind of reverse the fortune there, we scored with 6 seconds left or whatever it was. I couldn't debate, everybody was wondering why did I call timeout and do some of the things I did there at the end. Well, if we didn't get it in, I wanted to still be able to try to, blitz them and knock it loose because I knew they'd be on the 1 yard line, and we could get a possible turnover right there, maybe a fumbled snap or something, and do all that. So that was my thought process. But we got in, which was great, and finished it out in overtime. Our players just had the will to win, and I really appreciate that effort.
Was the touchdown run more exciting than Berezowitz trucking people on the sideline?
I got no comment on that. Oh, gosh. The funny thing is that was somebody's son, obviously, 12-year-old boy, just having a good time and celebrating the Colonel's win. And that goes to show you Brez is all in. And he was trucking down there to celebrate too. And classic moment.
All right. Brian, you got any other questions?
Yeah, when you look at the seniors you talked about, and they have gone through a gauntlet of a lot, more so than, and you can put them in with many other senior classes around the country because of this weird circumstances. Do these guys, and not to rank classes, but in terms of emotion of what you've had to go through with many of the guys who stuck with it the full time?
Well, I mean, these guys, Yeah, no doubt. I mean, here they are. They're at the height of their emotions, probably seniors in high school signed to come here, um, you know, and then boom, COVID hits, and they've got to deal with all the learning that we had to do with COVID, throughout college football and throughout, are they going to have a season? And then when we decided to have a season, they had to get the thing shoved up their nose every week, and the quarantining and sleeping by rooms by themselves and this and that and the other, and we had to slam a schedule together. We didn't even have a conference championship to play for in the first year, or wasn't even in a conference the first year. And so to go through all that, and then 2 years later, they had to go through, what I personally went through with my health, and all the things that they've been through, and then the portal, and then the NIL, and all the things that can distract them and keep them from staying at EKU, in particular. I mean, I think I sat in these kids' homes and told their parents this is how this is going to be, or whoever it was that was significant to them, and so those were the first for me as a head coach, and Vincent Mullen was my first commitment, and so all those things just come back up, as you move forward, and we'll have a play in Saturday, just the emotion of the pregame and everything. So a very special group to me. I really think a very special group to EKU, and the conference changing and everything that's going on. It's not been an easy ride for them, but they fought through it, and I think they all would tell you they're happy they did.
What was your message at halftime? Do you peel the paint off the wall and have a come to Walt meeting, or do you just say calm and it's like, fellas, we have to do the following?
We peeled the paint a little bit, and it wasn't a negative peeling of the paint. It was more of a, hey man, wake up. Here's what we've done. We've moved the ball, but we've turned it over. With special teams, you can't lay the ball on the ground and put our defense in that type of situation. Offensively, we can't throw a pick in the red zone. We can't, be driving and cough up the ball. And so we gave away 3 possessions, and 2 of them when we were driving. So I felt like we could move the ball and score points, but we were killing ourselves. And that's no disrespect to Austin Peay, because they were playing well. I mean, they punched the ball out, stripped the ball both times, and they made a great play on the interception. So I'm not going to sit there and say, it was just us, giving it to them. That's not the message I was trying to send. It was, hey, man, those are things we talk about you can't do, turnovers. You can't do it. And we did it. And for us to be able to come back and win the game and losing the turnover battle 3-0 really speaks high volumes to our football team, in my opinion.
The week before, you win and you get dominated in yardage. And you mentioned the kickoff returns and things, there's the hidden yards. But I guess football has a funny way of ironing itself out, because you dominate the stats here, but have to rally to win.
That's right. That's right. Because we gave them short fields. And, twice we gave them short fields, and they were able to capitalize on it. And so when you give them those opportunities, the stats aren't always the tell-all tale. And they really are if you look into why the stats happen. But, if you just glance at them, you'd be like, oh, why did they have to go to overtime? Well, it was the turnovers. I mean, we won the explosive play battle 9-2. And so, I mean, everything was right there for us to have a really good game, except for the turnovers. And we had to clean that up. And then, I told the defense at halftime, like, if they don't score, we'll win. We'll win the game if they don't score. And they took that to heart, man, and couldn't be more proud of our defense, because they took a lot of crap around here for a couple of years, and they're really coming into their own right now, and we got to continue that. I mean, you can't be 2, 3, 4 game warriors. You got to be rest of the season warriors. But we're just worried about going 1-0 this week and having that 1-0 mentality, and they have to do that.
All right, Cameron Drummond.
There we go. All right. Hey there, Walt. Appreciate it. Thanks as always. I'm curious, especially after last week, you were pretty vocal about, wanting the guys to block out all the outside noise, just focus on going 1-0 against Austin Peay. So I guess reflecting back, I'm curious both how well you felt you did in that endeavor and also just what are the challenges in getting them to do that again and focus, solely on North Alabama and no noise about the rankings or the playoffs or anything like that.
Well, I think, it's like I say, it's rat poison. We can't listen to all that because none of that matters. We have to take care of the task at hand. And I thought last week they really did that. Like I said, if it wasn't for the turnovers, I thought we would have played a little better game than what we played. But we have to clean that up. And that's part of, I don't think that had anything to do with tuning stuff out. It had to do with, a late decision on the throw and two guys not chinning the football the way they should. And so I think we can get those things corrected and to move forward. And like I said, Austin Peay's a good football team. So same thing with North Alabama coming in here. They're coming off an off week. We understand, who they are and what they are and the potentials that they're going to bring in here with tricks and fakes, and they've got nothing to lose. Their record doesn't indicate who they are, but their record is who they are. And so they're going to come in here. This is their last ball game, their last opportunity to be together, and they're going to let it all fly. We know that, and so we have to make sure that we play to that. And what I mean by that is not timid, not with anxiety, but play with joy, but have clean eyes and see what we're all doing, both offensively and defensively and special teams. We got to have clean eyes and see the football, and we got to leverage everything, and we got to make sure that we're on top of everything. But so that's a tall enough task in itself. And then UNA beat our conference championship, only gave them their one loss. So if that doesn't tell you what they can do, then you're not paying attention to what's going on in football. And we've expressed that to our team, and they know that. And hopefully they'll just be prepared for 1-0 and take that mentality because, like I said, it's all rat poison and anything else. Because, hey, it took us to week whatever to get ranked, right? What is this, week 13? So it's not a big deal, guys. All right, let's move forward and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coach, go ahead,
sorry,
Cam.
sorry, I have a couple more. I was gonna say, I guess we could have asked you this at any point over the last 3 weeks, but having that contribution from Josh at the end, I mean, obviously an incredible seasoned body of work, but have you ever been a part of something like this where a guy has scored 3 straight game-winning walk-off touchdowns in succession?
No, I have not. And he is a absolute stud, in my opinion. I mean, that guy is a lot of the heart and soul to our team. I don't want to say the only heart and soul to our team, but he brings an element of toughness and confidence to our offense, but also to our team. And I can't say how much I appreciate him, but I appreciate all our players because there's a lot of guys doing some of the things he's doing and just not getting doesn't have that walk-off touchdowns. And that's the position they play and how they do it. But very proud of him. And Josh came in here and set his time a little bit. And then the next year he got some, was a number 2 guy. And then, was the number 1 guy this year and probably could have been a number 1 guy for 2 years in a lot of places. And so really proud of him and how he's handled things. And I really think, he's one of those guys that'll be an eternal colonel. I mean, I think he's proud of being at EKU and what he's done. And his willingness to will us to wins at the end of the game has been outstanding.
And the last thing for me would just be kind of touching on something you brought up already, but another home game, to close out the regular season, the chance to, I think it's the first time since 2010 you guys could go undefeated at home. Just what has taking care of business at home in Richmond at Roy Kidd Stadium meant to you and this team this season? Because you guys have done it in a variety of ways, non-conference play, conference play against ranked teams. Just what has it meant to have that strong home performance and hopefully closing it out on Saturday by going undefeated?
Well, I think it's important for a lot of people, and it's important for us. We set it as a goal for us to go undefeated at Roy Kidd Stadium. And we haven't done that yet. And we are that right now, but we got one more game left. And so we have to make sure we maintain our focus, being 1-0 this week and doing all the things that it takes during the week to do that. And that's what's really been impressive for me is our players have really adopted into that and worked hard during the week to lead up to those games. and to be able to play in those games and do what they do. And so hopefully we'll have the same results this week. But, we have to lead into that. And then the other piece of that is, Roy Kidd Stadium, I played here. I didn't play at Eastern. I played at Austin Peay. But when we came up here to play, the place was packed. It was loud. You'd come running out of that chute where the visitors' locker room still is, and the student section was right there, and you'd have dip spit thrown on you, you'd have bottles thrown at you. It was a nightmare. And we want it to be that. We don't want anybody to get hurt and all that. I'm not condoning that. Although we just told each other to put our helmets on. It wasn't a big deal to us. But the support that Richmond, Madison County has for EKU football, and EKU alum has for EKU football is phenomenal. And if you don't believe it, just look at the last game we played here against Central Arkansas. They affected the game in the last drive. So that means they stuck around for the last drive. And I really appreciate them doing that. And I hope that they have that same desire to come back and do that again this week, especially since it's senior day and these 21 seniors deserve to go out in front of a crowd that appreciates it. And so we want to do that every year. That's going to be a continual goal for us because it's important to take care of home. And, it's hard to win on the road. It's hard to win on the road. So if you can get 5 or 6, however many home games you have, if you can get or 7, depends on what year, if you can get those wins at home, then that just puts you in a great position when you go on the road to be able to capture some more so you can get to where you need to go.
And Coach, 2 from me, one guy that, has done a lot for this team, kind of a secret weapon for you, especially late in that Austin Peay game, was punter Jacob Baker. Obviously most fans aren't always looking to the punter and the impact they can have, but he had 2 punts that pinned Austin Peay back to help you guys in that field position battle. And that's something he's been doing throughout this season. Can you talk a little bit about him and the impact he can have on a game and how much growth he's had this season as a redshirt freshman?
Well, I think that's the key. As a redshirt freshman, the first time going out there, I said a couple of weeks ago, Mississippi State, everybody's ready to fire him. And I get that. But after Mississippi State game, he's been phenomenal. And, he's had some inconsistencies that he's even cleaned up here in the last 4 or 5 games. And, it's a weapon to pin those guys deep and give us field position, and make them drive the field. The statistics show, the longer you got to drive, the less likelihood you are to score. And so for him to do that in the second half the way he did, he's from Corbin, right down the road, about an hour from here, home of Roy Kidd, and we're blessed to have him. And he's such a good kid. Him and Brody Wells both came in the same class, played linebacker on defense together. So Jacob's done everything too. You know what I mean? And Brody's playing a little defense and special teams for us. So them 2 guys coming from Corbin have done a great job, and Jacob's done an exceptional job of punting. I'm glad we got him for some more years, and hopefully, nobody will come and try to steal him, and we'll just keep him around here, and he can keep being a weapon for us.
Yeah. And I was talking with senior Ryan Jackson this morning, and I've talked with some of the seniors, and they've all talked about how Richmond truly feels for them now like a second home. And that's something that they all resonate with when you first recruited them. Was you've talked about those who stay, and now they're seeing the fruit of that labor. Like you've talked about, Ryan Jackson was talking about that Central Ark game. It was the loudest he had heard Roy Kidd Stadium, and he could feel the energy. How much pride does that fill you with, knowing the impact that Richmond has had on them and they've had on Richmond as they prepare for one final trip down the hill on Saturday?
That's what we want to build here. And when I say build, it's been built. Coach Kidd did such amazing things here for so many years and built a program and a expectation that's second to none. And we want to, no disrespect to anybody that followed him, and none of us will ever match what he did.
Of course,
nobody will come close. We just want to bring. When I took this job, my vision was to bring back some of the things that made EKU special. And, if we can continue to do that, then I think these young men will continue to find out that, maybe the grass ain't green. So maybe just because and you can go to a bowl game maybe, or you can get, a couple more dollars or something like that. Staying somewhere where lifelong relationships are built might mean more, and they might not. I mean, I know how that goes, and we want to put that as a home field advantage for us. And I think the me being here under coach and seeing how some things were, and having friends from here, you want to make sure that you let the alumni, the former players, the fans just have a great expectation and experience when they come back. And they gave it to our kids, and now those guys, next year will be hopefully over there in the Warren Fleet Club parking lot, hooting and hollering with all the other Warren Fleet clubs, and hopefully they'll feel a part of that. And I think that's important because, I mean, some of them guys are getting old. I ain't trying to put it on them, but I mean, man, that's just facts. I am too. And so we need the younger colonels, former players to be proud to be from here. And we want the town to be proud that they're from here. And some of them hopefully will make this their home. I mean, I look at Pat Smith, came here a long time ago and from Carrollton, Kentucky, and I don't think he's left. And that's what we want. We want people to relocate and do great things in the community, and be a hardcore fans for EKU, and be proud to be EKU fans.
All right. Coach, as always, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And we'll move into the student athlete portion of our press conference.
Thanks, guys. Thank you all for being here.
All right. And we'll start with Marvion Field. Marvion, if you could turn your mic on, turn your camera on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brian, we'll start with your questions for Mr. Field here.
What did Saturday mean to keep your season alive, but just the memory of one of the greatest comebacks in school history?
I mean, honestly, it was just the greatest thing ever. And really to top it off, it was my birthday on Saturday. So I appreciate that. I really needed that win for sure to keep the birthday vibes up. But I mean, it was definitely a great win. Like, being down 24-7, like we going into halftime, we really knew what we had to do. I could tell like just by on everybody's faces, especially on the defensive side. We knew that we just had to lock in and just make our adjustments and then just go out and execute. And really, it just came down to really just one play at a time. We did that. We made it one drive at a time. We got the ball back to our offense. They did their thing. They went out and scored. And then once we got it down to 24-17, we knew that we just needed one more stop, and then we can get the ball to our offense and they can go down and go score. And they did that. And, it took all 4 downs on the 1 yard line, but we had no doubt in our mind that they was going to score. And then once we got into overtime, that we had them right where we wanted them.
How tough is it not to panic and try to make the big play on defense, or the offensive guys try to make a spectacular play when you still have to chip away? You can't get 17 points back in one possession. How patient do you have to be, and is that difficult to do when you're in the situation you're in?
When you want it as bad as we do, you understand the situation and you understand that discipline comes first. So we went out there and we knew that we had to execute, and we knew that we had to have our eyes in the right place to be able to get off the field and be able to get the ball back to our offense. So we couldn't go out there and obviously we couldn't go out there and get it all back in one play and get back all back in one drive. So we knew we just had to play our game like we knew we did. We got our adjustments in. We executed. And it just ultimately came down to that. So we knew what the job was, and we got it done.
Coach said he kind of peeled some paint at halftime.
Yeah.
So was there a moment in the second half where you felt the tide turn and the momentum change in your favor?
No doubt. Just going out there after the first drive, they got 3. So we knew like after that, okay, we're down for 2 possessions. So we just need to go get some stops. And that's what we did. Like we took it one drive at a time. Four plays, go get the ball to the offense. They scored a touchdown, and once we got in within one touchdown, one possession, we knew, yeah, that's what we got to do. Just one more drive, and it comes down to that. We just gotta be able to execute all downs and be able to execute every play, and then just make sure that we can get the ball back to the O.
All right, Cameron.
Yeah, just one from me. Something that I kind of similarly asked a coach just a second ago would be just the fact that you guys are undefeated at home, hopefully looking to close out an undefeated home season here on Saturday. Just what about playing at Roy Kidd Stadium and playing in Richmond has allowed you guys this year to be so successful? And what are some of those things that you're hoping to replicate on Saturday one final time?
Yeah, protect the kid. It's been our goal since the beginning of the year. We knew that last year we gave up some games at home that it hurt us. So we had to come out this year and we had to make sure that we made a statement and going undefeated at home, that's really half the job. Like we get 6 games at home, we win all or 5 games at home and whatever we do, we just gotta win all those games. And then that's just half the job when we go on the road and we gotta execute on the road as well. But protecting the kid was most important. We want to be able to win for our fans. We want to be able to show the fans that, we care just as much as they do. And then obviously we got to, when we're at home, it's important to us. Like, I see it as Roy Kid looking down on us. He's watching every single game. So we got to go out there and perform. Like there's no doubt about that. So it's very important to us. It's our main goal. And this Saturday, we're going to be able to show it as well. So I feel like we can put our best game together this weekend, especially in the kids, just to show we can do it at home and we can do it on the road too.
All right, Marvion, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Happy belated. Glad you guys were able to celebrate that with a win, and good luck on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all.
All right, Josh Carter now will join us. All
What's
right,
up?
Brian, we'll start with your questions.
Where does this one rank in your career of what the heck just happened and how did we do this?
Probably out of just my whole life, probably. I mean, it's in there in that top five for sure. I mean, shoot, playing on high school Florida football, that's anything can happen at any moment too in that region. So we've had a lot of crazy moments going in throughout my collegiate career and throughout my just my athletic career in general. But that moment would definitely be top five for me for sure.
When you look at your career, Coach mentioned you had to sit for a minute and you had to watch. And, you wanted to be the guy. We spoke earlier in the year and you said, hey, I want to take over the game when I can on the ground. You've done a heck of a job down the stretch. What is it about winning time for you lately that has been so money for you and this team?
Just when we get late in the games, I kind of pride myself on, just keeping my head, my feet where my head where my feet are. You know what I mean? Just running hard, doing what I can to just help the team win, and just O-line, just put up great blocks late in the game. Receivers blocking down the field, tight ends doing their job as well. Somebody I think that doesn't get enough credit for their blocking skills is Matt, because we talk about it every week. Is if we got a little zone block or whatever, he try to shield off the backside or put a hand on somebody. All you got to do is really get in the way, and that'll take somebody out of the play. So essentially, it's one-on-one somewhere down the field, and it's just finding that isolation and taking advantage of it.
All right, Cameron.
Hey there, Josh. Appreciate the time. Kind of a similar question where Brian just asked, but obviously the late game execution for yourself, specifically 3 straight weeks with the game winning or the walk off touchdown. Whether it's 2 minutes ago in the fourth quarter or like it was against Austin Peay in overtime. Just what about those moments kind of seems to bring out the best in you and have you be allowed to make those plays for your teammates and give your team the win?
Just when it's late game and stuff like that, Matt always pulls us to the side before we go in for the drive. He's just giving us confidence, telling us that we need to end this drive with 6 points. Just leave everything out there and see what we can do. You know what I mean? And that's something that I take to my heart every time he says it, because I know it means something to him and it means something to me, because I know I'm able to provide a little bit of a spark to our offense, and really in our team in general, but more specifically our offense. Because, if our run game's working, it's going to open the pass game up, just tremendously. So it's just doing my job and then seeing how the offense, just works around that, and, ending the drives with points. That's all I really care about, the end of the drive. Whether I get the late game touchdown or not, I mean, it's cool to do that, but I just want to score points to win football games.
Josh, a few for me, Obviously, a walk-off touchdown run, a lot of attention to that. But you also crossed two major milestones in your career, two things that, when we talked earlier in the year, you said you wanted to accomplish. First 1,000-yard rusher in a single season since 2019. And then you become, I believe, the 17th or 18th running back in EKU history to rush for 2,000 yards in a career. Can you talk about what, achieving those individual milestones? Obviously, you're a guy who always putting the team first, the team goals first, but for you personally, what do accomplishing those feats mean for you?
I mean, it's obviously, just a good accomplishment, just saying things like we spoke, one on one about this too, just trying to set those goals for myself. Obviously, personally, I feel like I should have hit that 1,000 mark a little bit earlier, and that's what keeps me going though. Just keeps me level headed, keeps me humble because after, like I said when I was talking to you a few weeks ago, every time I leave the game, I always feel like there's something left out there. So it was a good game and all that stuff. Those milestones are great, but I think that mindset helps me keep a level head and just keep grinding, keep moving forward. Just trying to help our team win, and ultimately those 1,000 yards to me would mean not as much as it should if it doesn't end the way we plan it to be. So that's something that I always just try to keep my head on for. And I mean that 1,000 yards, 2,000 yards is cool. I let the team and everybody be excited for me and stuff like that. But to me, that's just outside noise right now. We're just trying to one game at a time and just seeing where the season takes us.
You talk about that outside noise, and we've heard Coach talk about it, the rat poison, all of those other things. How have you guys been able to, kind of seclude yourself into your own bubble and stay concentrated on the task at hand? And that task in front of you is North Alabama. Obviously, there will be high emotions with senior day, last time going down the hill at Roy Kidd Stadium. And you want to feed off that energy, but how do you also balance that with, keeping, the main focus, and that's getting a win on Saturday against a difficult North Alabama team?
Um, th- Great question. Probably just more. I think everybody's got the mindset of we backed ourselves into a corner early on in the season, and dropping a few wins that put us in that corner. And I think we just came together, had our players only being just pretty much established that we put ourselves here and we got to dig ourselves out. Your back's against the wall. The only way to go is forward, and that's kind of the mentality that we've been having. Moving throughout the rest of the season. I mean, and it showed a little bit 4-game win streak. Just believing that just believing that we can move it to a 5-game win streak, and then so on and so forth, keep it moving. But that's exactly what it is. I mean, we all have that win now mindset. Back against the wall mindset. Coach has been showing us videos of boxing the last few weeks, and that's certainly been helping us, just keep our mentality on the right path, just keep swinging, keep fighting, and just see where the results get.
All right, Josh, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Media members, thank you for joining us on the call today, and we will see you all on Saturday. Thank you so much.
See you.